You know what? I always wonder about social justice warriors. I always wonder, okay, so, they're called social justice warriors. So, what kind of justice are they fighting for? Obviously, these are people who think there are a lot of wrongs in the world, and there are indeed a lot of wrongs in the world. There are many, many, many things wrong with the world that the human race have yet to fix. The world isn't equal. They're absolutely right. The world is not necessarily a tolerant place. It's probably the most tolerant it's ever been in some places and in some cases, but in other kind of places and cases, it is not as tolerant as it used to be. Now, don't get me wrong. Fighting for justice is a great cause. It truly, truly is. I mean, you know what? I don't fault a person for trying to fight injustice, without people fighting injustice, we wouldn't get where we are today. They're absolutely right. Without people fighting for the vote, we wouldn't have that equality of the sexes when it comes to voting for who you want in power and, representation and all that, But when we talk about social justice warriors, what kind of justice do they want? How are they going to fight their injustice? They see injustice in the world, whether it be real or perceived, and they don't necessarily fight it in a very just and very heroic way, in my opinion. I mean, take for example in Sweden, where the Swedish Democrats have decided to organise a gay pride parade that will march down this area, which is 75% Muslim, or several areas in fact, and they have automatically received a lot of backlash because in Sweden, as we all know, they are extremely progressive and left-wing, more so than even I am, probably even more so than the average social justice warrior. They take it to the extreme, like extreme, to the point where they think this gay rights parade, organised by who are essentially a more left-wing conservative party, to an extent, I mean, they're not necessarily that right-wing, You wouldn't see conservatives doing this, in my opinion. Maybe we do, I don't know. So, I can't judge. They've decided that this is a racist parade. This is against Muslims. Apparently Muslims are a race, even though it's an ideology, and it's just a name that these people in the ideology of Islam call themselves, and what other people call them. You could be any race and be a Muslim, just like you could be any race and be a Christian, and to a lesser extent a Jewish person, although it has to come down the mother's side, hasn't it? So, they've organised to counter protest. To counter a gay rights parade, they've got this anti-racism parade, or whatever, or anti-Islamophobia parade. Things are so social justice and so extremely progressive there that they are protesting against an LGBT parade. That's quite insane, if you ask me. Is this the kind of justice that you want? That people making a ideological stance against another ideology who has a anti-stance against their very beings, as we know that Islam and other religions, like, we'll keep with Abrahamic faiths, Christianity and Judaism, hate gay people. The ideology hates the gay people. I'm not saying the people necessarily hate them. I don't know if these Muslim communities hate gay people or not. I'm sure there are some homophobes, but I'm sure there are also people who are not homophobic. We have no idea how the community is going to react. We don't know if they'll look at the parade with great bemusement, or just watch it, or cheer it, or boo it. We don't know. But the parade should take place. It's their right to make the parade. It's their right to express themselves, just as much as it's right for the opposition to express their disgust. But when they're trying to ban it, no, I'm sorry, that's going too far. There's nothing wrong. It's not quite the Orange Parade, but then again, do the Northern Irish Assembly have the right to stop them walking down their traditional path, which can, in a way, provoke the Catholic community that they walk past? But anyway, that's besides the point. How is that fighting for justice when the people that you're supposed to be fighting for are on the receiving end of your justice? These people who are very right in trying to combat the perceived and very real hatred that this ideology does spout against them. And what about in Scotland? We're keeping with the gay pride kind of LGBT subject here. In Scotland, there is a alternative pride called Free Pride in Glasgow, where they have banned drag queens. You know, drag queens, you are a staple of the LGBT community. I don't think I've been on a night out in Manchester's gay village where I haven't seen one, I haven't talked to one. I haven't. They're like a pillar of the community. They are iconic. These people, these are people who love being a drag queen, whether they be gay or straight. Yet apparently these people have been banned from doing their jobs, that a thing that they're instrumental in, because it may offend trans people. How is that fighting for justice? How is that helping trans people just because they can't laugh at themselves? Even though really drag queens aren't anything to do with transgender people. It's to do with transvestitism, if that's a word. It's just a form of self-expression, and especially in Britain, it's a staple of drama. Men have always traditionally dressed up as women, especially in pantomime and early theatre before they let women in. It's true. I mean, how is that helping fight injustice? How is that helping people's rights when these people are being banned because they may offend some sensitive, trigger warning needed trans people? Most trans people I know don't give a shit about this. So how can we really be worried about this minority of people who just either can't take a joke or don't like the particular entertainment that these people provide? Not that I'm saying they're jokes. They do tell jokes, but these people enjoy being drag queens. I enjoy the fact that they are drag queens. Whatever. But let's just get away from LGBT for a while. Let's carry on with social justice. So, how they go about trying to get justice? It's okay to go for justice if you have just means. Protesting is absolutely brilliant. Emailing advertisers saying you cannot advertise on this website or with this company because of their shady business practices like Gamergate have been doing, that is perfectly fine, because who wants some horrible company that have been well known to be immoral or have failings or are nasty to getting all this money that they don't deserve? You need to tell these advertisers that they need a good image for potential customers. If they're to be seen to be with these horrible companies, that looks bad on them. But for social justice warriors, it doesn't matter if the methods are bad. There's just no bad people, just bad targets. As I'm horribly paraphrasing Movie Bob. It's okay for someone like Zoe Tur to dox a man just for saying that he disagreed with her being classy, because she wasn't being classy to Ben Shapiro, but neither was he necessarily being classy to her. Neither of them really should have been nasty to each other. But that's besides the point. Social justice warriors shouldn't be accusing us of doxing them and harassing them and then doing the same thing to us, all in the name of justice. It's not right to form a witch hunt and attack someone based on what they said. That's not what you should do. You should politely, if possible, have self-control and debate these people, or just ignore them. Some of these are just normal people. You'll be surprised how much debate actually works rather than a witch hunt and trying to force them out their job. Because let's be honest, nobody wants to force someone out of a job where being racist isn't necessarily going to be a problem. But I don't know. Maybe say if it was a police officer, of course you can't be racist and be a police officer because that's a dereliction of duty in and of itself. But I don't know. I still think that some of these people can change their minds if we go about it the right way. I think people can change. I think you can teach an old dog new tricks. But I digress, and I will probably be stepping into murky waters and walking on eggshells if I go too far and trip over my words. So, these methods often end up with defending horrible publications like Gawker. In the Los Angeles Times, there was an op-ed by a person called Maria Bustillos, saying why Gawker and gossip are good. No, gossip's fine. You know, if you want a news publication that deals in gossip, that's fine. But when Gawker tries to make it look like it's for freedom of speech, when they're actually illegally, you know, filming people having sex and releasing it to the public, when they are illegally doxing somebody, well, all doxing is illegal. When they are doxing someone, a private citizen, by the way, this person's not a public service, a public citizen. You know, the man who was outed as being gay by them, even though it's really none of our business because he hasn't done anything wrong. That's between him and his family. Apparently, that's freedom of speech, not breaking the law. Yet that's okay because Gawker fights a good fight. It has Jezebel, it has Kotaku, it has all the other social justice warrior publications fighting for justice and for the victims and against the patriarchal white man, you know? Apparently it's okay for Gawker to do this shit because Hulk Hogan's a racist. He did do a racist thing. He may well be a racist person. But what happened to him, what happened to the other guy, is still wrong. What happened to that guy who criticised Zoe Turner is wrong. What happened to all these other people? The two men in Donglegate, the man in Elevator Gate, Shirtstorm. Is this really how you guys want to go around fighting injustice? Because let me tell you this. I was bullied. I was a victim. I didn't get the justice that I wanted. But I didn't become like you. I didn't dox people. I didn't let the hate linger on. I admit it lingered for a while. It always does. Bullying leaves scars, especially when it's quite a long time and takes up most of your teenage life and your prepubescent life, you know? But I don't go around doing the shit that you do. I think there's a better way to fight injustice. Sometimes I think we can't always win, but I think choose your battles. Don't go for first world problems, because this is what it usually is. It's first world problems that you're fighting. It's really your feelings. It's your feelings, and you're projecting them onto us to make it look like it's some kind of threat to the world, and this is some kind of horrible thing that's going on. And really, men sitting in the way they've naturally sat since the dawn of time, well, the dawn of mankind, shall we say, or how they speak, is not a social justice issue. That is you not liking men speaking their minds and how they sit. So what's it going to be, social justice warriors? Are you going to choose your battles wisely? Are you going to fight the actual good fights? This is not an appeal to bigger things. I'm just asking you, are you going to actually sit down and think to yourselves individually, not as a collective, because it's impossible? What are we doing is right? Is launching a protest against the gay pride event in Sweden the right thing to go about? Isn't this a bit horseshoe theory? Or is actually fighting proper issues, you know, like economic inequality, austerity, for example, you know, the government taking advantage of your offence to damage freedom of speech? Because in the end, it doesn't just damage my ability to speak out, it damages your ability to speak out. What ultimately was built to stop us will stop you. Think about that. This has been CharmingMan93. Like and share the video, subscribe to my channel, and this has been another rambling video. And I will see you later.